Today, we're diving deep into one of the most important shifts happening right now in Africa. The rise of the AES Confederation, formed by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. We'll look at why some African governments are strongly against it, how Western powers are reacting behind the scenes, why the people support AES while their governments don't, and most importantly, how the AES doesn't care who's angry. This is the story of courage, betrayal, and sovereignty, and how a bold Pan-African alliance is shaking the world. In the heart of West Africa, something extraordinary is happening. Three nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, have stood up and said, enough. Enough of the lies. Enough of the foreign control. Enough of the puppet strings that have choked Africa for decades. Together they formed the Alliance of Sahel States, the AES, not just a military pact, but a Pan-African revolution. They expelled foreign troops, cut off exploitative ties, and they walked out of ECOWAS, a bloc many now see as a tool of foreign dominance. Then came the big announcement. They're creating a confederation, a united political and economic front. That's when the attacks began. Surprisingly, the loudest opposition didn't first come from Europe or America. It came from other African governments. Ivory Coast. President Alassane Ouattara became the loudest critic of the AES. He called their actions unconstitutional. But let's be honest, he fears their courage. He fears their people might start asking, why aren't we doing the same? Nigeria. As ECOWAS chair, Nigeria pushed for sanctions and even military action against Niger. Their real fear? That sovereign African governments will weaken their regional control and embarrass their Western allies. Benin. They closed their borders to Niger and followed ECOWAS orders without hesitation. They're not protecting democracy, they're protecting external interests. Sierra Leone. Always in step with ECOWAS and never with independent thought. They silently support pressure against AES, ignoring what their people think. But the real force behind the pressure? Western powers who have everything to lose. France lost military bases, lost influence, lost control over 3 former colonies. They called it dangerous, but really, it was just liberation. United States cut military ties and aid. Warned about the AES growing closer to Russia, they don't fear coups, they fear a truly independent Africa. Germany, Luxembourg, and the European Union all expressed concern, all suspended funds. Why? Because AES dared to choose their own future without permission. And here's the irony. In all these countries opposing the AES, the people love what the AES stands for. In Ivory Coast, Nigerians, Beninese, Sierra Leoneans, they're watching the AES with admiration. They see strength, they see defiance, they see hope. But their leaders? Corrupt, bought, afraid of losing aid, deals, and foreign validation. This isn't a conflict between countries. It's a conflict between the people and the elite. But here's what makes the AES different. They don't care. They know the threats. They see the sanctions. They hear the insults. But still, they move forward. We will not be lectured by those who destroyed us. We will not obey those who exploited us. We will not beg. They are building schools, training their own soldiers, reclaiming their resources, uniting their people. This isn't rebellion, this is restoration. While ECOWAS screams, while France panics, while Western diplomats whisper, the AES stands firm. This is not just a political shift, it's a continental awakening. The AES Confederation is not just an alliance, it's a message. Africa will no longer be controlled. Africa will no longer be silent. The people have chosen freedom, and the AES is leading the way.